Antarctica is part of our planet, but we know very little about it, almost like it's another world. The temperatures can drop below -90 degrees Celsius, making it really hard to explore. It's so big that you could fit almost 3 million square kilometers of land inside it. But what secrets are hidden beneath the thick ice? What amazing things have scientists found in this frozen land? Join us as we uncover what this remarkable camera has caught in Antarctica. Hidden depths. Antarctica has very thick ice, some of it over 4 kilometers deep. This ice has formed over millions of years, with the oldest parts being about 1 million years old. But what lies beneath this ice? There are subglacial lakes, like Lake Vostok, which is about the size of Cyprus and around 4,000 feet deep, making it just 145 feet shallower than Lake Baikal, the deepest lake on Earth. Lake Vostok is important because it has been cut off from the outside world for millions of years, which means it might have unique living things that have adapted to extreme conditions. The water doesn't freeze because of the great pressure from the ice above and the heat from the Earth's core. This creates a special place where scientists hope to find tiny organisms that have evolved on their own. Lake Vostok is one of over 400 known subglacial lakes in Antarctica. For example, Lake Whillans, located under the Whillans ice stream, is much smaller at about 2 meters deep, but has tiny life forms, showing that life can survive in harsh environments. Another lake, Lake Ellsworth, is about the size of Manhattan and has been isolated for hundreds of thousands of years. Researchers want to drill into it to look for signs of life and old climate records. These lakes do not just sit still. They interact with their surroundings and can affect the movement of ice and the stability of the ice sheet. The lakes themselves are fascinating enough, but guess what scientists found inside them? Unknown species. Scientists have found a new type of bacteria in Lake Vostok called W123-10. Its DNA is only 86% similar to other known organisms, which makes it very special. This bacterium developed its unique traits in the lake, which has been cut off from the outside world for millions of years. Researchers also discovered signs of about 3,500 different species living in the lake. While this number is debated, the fact that so many life forms exist in such a tough environment is amazing. These organisms have learned to survive in complete darkness, under great pressure, and in freezing temperatures, showing how tough life can be. This discovery has led scientists to think that if life can exist in Antarctica's icy lakes, it might also be found in extreme places elsewhere in our solar system, like Jupiter's icy moon, Europa, and Mars. Europa has a thick ice layer over a hidden ocean, which could be like Antarctica's subglacial lakes. The ice protects the water from harsh space radiation and extreme cold, creating a possible home for tiny life forms. Mars also has icy poles and signs of past water flow, which is exciting. Scientists believe that beneath Mars's ice, there could be warm liquid water, possibly supporting similar microbial life. Both of these places have conditions that could help life survive, including the presence of water, making them interesting for future studies. Other than these unique life forms, Antarctica's thick sheet of ice hides many impressive landscapes. For example, the Bentley Depression. The Bentley Depression is a giant trench under the ice in West Antarctica. It's named after Charles Bentley, who discovered it in the 1950s. It's the deepest land spot that isn't underwater, reaching about 8,382 feet below sea level. This trench is covered by almost 3 kilometers of ice, and if all the ice melted, it would create a large basin. The trench also affects how ice moves in Antarctica, which helps scientists understand changes in the ice sheet and sea levels. Researchers drilled into the ice to learn more while studying natural ice openings, called polynyas, from space to avoid disturbing the area. Antarctica from space. Do you know what the most obvious thing we can see from up there is? The Ross Ice Shelf. The Ross Ice Shelf is a huge ice structure in Antarctica, discovered by British explorer James Clark Ross in 1841. It covers about 487,000 square kilometers, which is about the size of France. This ice shelf is important because it slows down the movement of glaciers into the ocean, helping to keep sea levels steady. Warm ocean currents flow under the ice and can melt it from below, which is called basal melting. This process can make the ice shelf thinner and weaker. If it gets too thin, it might break apart, causing glaciers to flow into the ocean faster and raise sea levels, which could affect coastal areas. While we were stuck observing the surface, something far more horrifying and dangerous was hidden underneath it. But then the scientists uncovered it: fossils of a sea monster, ancient sea monsters. While dinosaurs like Cryolophosaurus ellioti walked on land, huge sea reptiles swam in nearby oceans. One of the largest was an Elasmosaurus found on Seymour Island in 2019. This Elasmosaurus belonged to a group called Aristonectes, which had shorter necks and bigger heads than other Elasmosauruses. It could grow to 40 feet long and weigh over 15 tons. This creature lived about 30,000 years before the big extinction event that wiped out the dinosaurs around 66 million years ago. Finding such a well-preserved fossil shows that Antarctica had a lively ocean filled with different life forms before this event. Scientists have also discovered fossils of mosasaurs, which were fierce ocean predators. One well-known mosasaur from Antarctica is Kaikaifilu, which could grow up to 33 feet long. Another interesting sea reptile is the pliosaur, known for its short neck and strong jaws, making it like the T-Rex of the ocean. Fossils of giant sea turtles and ancient fish have also been found, showing that the Antarctic oceans were once full of life. When scientists found these fossils, they carefully dug them out and studied the bones to learn more about these ancient creatures. When they dig around to get the fossils out, they sometimes find other unrelated things that turn out to be more surprising. Volcanoes under the ice. Did you know there are volcanoes under the ice? Scientists have found active volcanoes under the ice in Antarctica, especially a volcano in the West Antarctic Rift System, buried about 1.2 kilometers beneath the ice. This volcano was discovered in 2013 using radar and sound waves that go through the ice. It is still active and last erupted around 2,000 years ago, leaving ash that researchers found in ice samples. These volcanoes affect the ice above them. When they erupt, they can melt the ice and create water, which makes the ice move faster and contributes to melting in some areas. The heat from the volcanoes can also create lakes under the ice, like Lake Whillans. There are more than 100 volcanoes in Antarctica, mostly in the West Antarctic region. This area has a lot of volcanic activity because of moving tectonic plates. In 2017, scientists discovered caves under the ice near Mount Erebus, an active volcano. Steam from the volcano melted the ice, creating warm, bright spaces. Soil samples from these caves showed DNA from algae, moss, and possibly animals, suggesting that life can exist in this harsh environment. Researchers think other volcanic areas might also have similar caves with unique ecosystems and unknown species. Now, moving away from the icy land, the cold waters of Antarctica hold as many secrets. A fish nursery. In early 2022, scientists found a huge nursery of ice fish on the seafloor of the Weddell Sea. They used a 1-ton camera on a German icebreaker to capture footage of the bottom. To their surprise, they discovered about 60 million icefish nests, each watched over by an adult fish. This was much larger than previous icefish colonies, which usually had only a few dozen nests. The Southern Ocean is home to many unique creatures, like the Antarctic toothfish, which can grow up to 2 meters long, and Antarctic krill, which are important for the food chain and can be seen from space in large groups. The Weddell Sea also has Weddell seals, which can dive deep and use their strong teeth to make breathing holes in thick ice. These animals have special adaptations to live in the extreme cold. For example, icefish have a protein in their blood that stops them from freezing. Even though we first saw Antarctica in 1820, there is still much to learn about this icy desert. If you're as fascinated as I am, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more amazing content. What do you think we'll find next in Antarctica? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to explore more with you.